Good morning, everybody, and a happy Thursday morning to you. Well, we have a lot of royal family stuff, and then we have Harry's stuff, including not only the lawsuit, but he did a pap walk. He's trying so hard to help his PR. It's ridiculous. There's so much in here. Let's jump in. Let's cover it. Let's go. We're going to start off with Prince William, who was at one of the UK's biggest charities for homeless youth. And while he was there, Centrepoint, in case I didn't say it, while he was there, he learned about some of the services that are offered at the branch. While they're there, there were 17 beds for young people aged 16 to 25 who are having homelessness. So while he was there, he attended a boxing class where he showed that basically he knows what he's doing. It's a physical challenge, and he showed how he can do a left and right uppercuts with the sparring person's, pads. And so of course he was looking absolutely fabulous. Please remember that in 2023, he and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, created the initiative Homewards, which is a 5-year project to try and alleviate homelessness. And this place, Centrepoint, is part of that. According to the palace, William's reason for being there was to listen and learn about the ways that Centrepoint has used experiences of other people and that are on the edge of society to help them find their way back in, if that makes any sense. And we know that this is really a passion project for William. He loves this kind of stuff. It's what he does. This is his initiative, and I think it's going to be successful. Now, that wasn't the end of William for the day, because that night he was seen in the stands watching Aston Villa play. Now, this is interesting. They were playing against Prince Albert's Monaco, and Prince Albert was also spotted out in the stands. It must have been really cold there, because in the video that they show, everybody's rubbing their hands, trying to stay warm. Yeah, not good. Anyway, his team lost, and you know that he was absolutely devastated by that. Maybe next time, William. Ugh, poor thing. Okay, let's move on to Princess Anne. To start with, she had a very long flight. She arrived in Cape Town, and one of her first stops was at the South African Riding School for the Disabled. You should know that Sir Tim Lawrence was supposed to be going with her, but apparently he tore a ligament or a tendon or something. I'm not exactly sure what he did. So he is off his feet. So he was unable to go with her. I think crazy. Anyway, Princess Anne, who, by the way, in case you don't know, it is 74. She doesn't look at it. She arrived at the Equestrian Center to observe a riding lesson and a few other things that were going on during her 2-day trip there. Now, of course, we know how much she loves horses. They took her straight in to see some of the horses. As an FYI, Anne is president of the UK version of this charity for the last 4 decades. She got a tour of the riding center. She stopped to greet numerous members of the association there. And this charity mirrors the British Riding for the Disabled, which Anne is a patron of since 1971, and she's been the president since 1985. Both the British and the South African riding schools focus on using horse riding as a form of therapy and life enhancers for children and adults with physical disabilities. These are the events that I love to see Anne at. We know that this is what she's so good at, and just absolutely fabulous. Now, when this was over, she headed over to the British High Commission's residence garden. Very interesting. And while she was there, she viewed an exhibition by former England cricketer Nick Compton, grandson of batsman Dennis Compton. And that, again, took place at the British High Commission's residence garden in Pretoria, South Africa. Now, when looking at the exhibition was over, she then toured the gardens with Julie Phillipson, who is the wife of the British High Commissioner, and she also met the head horticulturist, who I hope I say this right, Bulanani Bashe. She also met Leon Klug, who is the gold winner at the 2024 Chelsea Flower Show. While she was in the garden, she was seen putting some soil on the Princess Anne rose. Yes, she has her own rose. While she was out there doing some gardening. Let's move on now to Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. A couple of days ago, as patron of the Traylor Trust, she went to visit the Traylor School and College in Alton. I'm not sure what she was doing. It looks like they were racing in the pool and she was holding the flag. She looked like she was thoroughly enjoying herself. And then on the 21st, oh my God, she went to a event where she got to cuddle a 9-week-old King Charles Spaniel named Louie. It's the Dog for Autism's charity. Now, the first thing that happened was this puppy comes out with a basket in its mouth and it's got the fake puppy in it. But eventually she got to hold the real thing. So she's holding this dog while she's learning about how the assistance dogs can have a really good impact on people with autism. She was introduced to several dogs and their partners. Love it. And next up, we have Queen Camila. They were very busy on this day. Queen Camila went to the Great Western Hospital in Swindon to celebrate the opening of a new emergency department. This is the hospital where she gave birth to her daughter 47 years earlier, they said. Inside the hospital, she met staff, patients, and volunteers. There was a new £33.5 million urgent and emergency care expansion, the biggest ever investment into the hospital. She met its new medical assessment unit. She saw the redesign. She walked through the whole area. She couldn't help but play with the kids. There was an adorable dog there, just cutest little thing you ever saw. She just looked like she was having a great time. She did the usual stuff that she usually does. She obviously loves children. And then she unveiled a plaque as usual. And then she left because she was off to her next engagement for the day. She went to her next stop, which was Prospect Hospice. She met dignitaries and patients. This is her 4th visit to the care facility. She was guided around by Chief Executive Jeremy Loon. Camila met daughters of the founder, of whose name was Derek Evans, sponsors from Zurich and Nationwide, and members of a lunch and learn group in their education center and bereavement support group. The reason Camila was there this time is it is the 45th anniversary of Prospect Hospice. Now, towards the end of the visit, you had the usual stuff. Camila unveiled a plaque for the Evans Education Center. She cut what looks to be like an amazing cake. She signed the guest book. And in case you haven't guessed it yet, she is the president of Prospect Hospice, and she gave a lovely speech. You guys know that I love to see the royals at work, and it appears, unless I'm wrong, that all of these took place on the same day. So the royals were really out and about and exceedingly busy, and we have gorgeous pictures. All right, let's move away from the working royals. So David Beckham is at the World Economic Forum, and somebody asked him about his association with the King's Foundation, which we know is one of King Charles's key charities, because he was appointed the ambassador last June. He said, listen, I'm a huge royalist, and he stressed his support for William. He said, I get emotional talking about anything I do with the royal family because I was brought up in a household that adored and loved everything that came with the royal family. So if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, because right, you're still getting these articles about, well, they could mend the rift. They are not going to mend their rift. David Beckham and Victoria Beckham want absolutely nothing to do with Harry and Meghan. And I feel like their Oprah show where they slammed the royal family was definitely their downfall, because a lot of people in the United States feel the same way as the Beckhams. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to our first big story of the day. There's several. I told you yesterday that Harry had, set up this case 5 years in the making. They go into court for what's supposed to be the first day of court. Remember when Harry said this?
And so you think that everybody's just settled because it just doesn't make any economic sense to continue?
No, I know why people have settled. They've settled because they've had to settle. So therefore, one of the main reasons for seeing this through is accountability, because I'm the last person that can actually achieve that, and also closure for these 1,300 people and families.
Remember, he's going to get accountability for everybody. He's not settling. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Well, Guess what happened? They offered him a settlement. Well, I think the settlement was on the table the whole time, and Harry kept pushing it off because he wanted more. He wanted an apology. He wanted all of these things. So finally, he settles because he had to, in my opinion. Now, I know people think that Harry won. I don't think he won. Remember, even if he got a large settlement, he has to pay legal costs, their legal costs, his legal costs. So even though he settled, he's trying to say it's a victory, but it's really not, because they gave no admission of doing anything wrong. Let me remind you that Prince William did the exact same thing. Prince William not only settled, took his money and gave it to charity, but he managed to shut down a newspaper and get people arrested. I doubt that Harry is going to, donate his money. But in the meantime, now he's calling for the police and Parliament to investigate and do something. I can assure you they're not going to do anything. So Harry got his apology, but he did not get an admission that they did anything illegal. Here's the statement. I'm going to let this run. You guys can stop and read it for yourself. The fact that they didn't do anything illegal, or they're claiming they didn't do anything, is very important, because Harry's attorney is now calling for the police to go arrest somebody. So, let me tell you what I see. Harry talks the talk, but he can't walk the walk. He said he was the only person left to get justice. He didn't get justice. He got a lot of money. I'm wondering how the Sussex squad is going to spin this one. Please understand that if Harry had gone forth in the case and his settlement was less than what he'd been offered, he would have been on the hook to pay for both attorneys' fees. And that's not a chance he was willing to take. That's why you had this last minute push for money. But even though he won this money, he still has to pay his attorney's fees. It's not the win that he wants everybody to believe it is. It's really just not. And he didn't have the guts to go through with it in the end. It was too much of a risk. You guys know I'm a big believer in karma, and I agree with what Piers Morgan said. Invading royal privacy is an absolutely terrible thing, unless, of course, hypocrite Harry is the one doing it. Exactly. All right, let me just make one thing perfectly clear, just in case I'm not clear. This is not over for Harry. Harry wants somebody arrested. Harry wants somebody to do something. So David Sherborne came out and made a statement after court and said, and I'm quoting, "The rule of law must now run its full course. Prince Harry and Tom Watson join others in calling for the police and Parliament to investigate the unlawful activity, but the perjury and cover-ups along the way, blah, blah, blah." He wants somebody to be arrested, okay? That is not going to happen, because as you can see in the statement, it says right there, without any admission of illegality. So they have admitted to nothing. There will be no arrests. And please understand that he's going to use this in his security case, because one of the things he said, or what the attorney said, was this has created serious concerns for the security of him and his family. So he plans on using this in the next case in April. FYI, it's being reported that over 5 years, the attorney's fees have come to over $7 million. So yeah, Harry ain't walking away with a lot. Now, when the case was over, Charles Spencer, Diana's brother, the same man who's been mooching off his deceased sister's memory for years, came out with a statement that said, "It takes an enormous amount of guts to take on major media organizations, and tenacity, blah, blah, blah. Diana, she would be immensely touched by this, I'm sure, and also rightly proud." No, I don't think so. I think she'd be horrified by the things that Harry has said and done. I often wonder if Charles Spencer, who's now divorcing his third wife because he's going to get married a fourth time, if he allows Harry to use the cocaine, marijuana, and magic mushrooms on his estate. All right, let's move on now to our next big story for today. Harry did not go to the UK to his court case because he knew he wasn't going to risk it and it was going to settle. So what did he do instead? He's looking for positive PR after the Vanity Fair article. So this came out. 2 therapy dogs with the Salinas Fire Department were sent to Southern California to help with the wildfires, and they met a member of the British royal family. Yes. While stationed, they had the chance to meet Prince Harry, and this encounter boosted their morale. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like something the royal family does. They go around taking pictures, meeting with people to help boost their morale and bring attention to what they're doing. Harry went to the Salinas Fire Department, is where he went. They're really pushing the puff pieces. It says, in an inspiring turn of events, the animals and the fire people had the opportunity to meet Prince Harry, known for his philanthropic work and advocacy on various social issues, including disaster relief. And this encounter not only boosted their morale, but emphasized the importance of community and collaboration in the face of such devastating challenges. Really? Okay. Oh, and then they said, and this happened right after the death of Guy, Meghan's beloved beagle. They just love animals. You see where this is going? So Harry didn't go to the UK because Harry's trying to do damage control. Harry, by the way, is absolutely bald. Look at this non-fixed up picture. I'm so shocked they let this go out. Now, I am shocked that Harry hasn't spoken out for his friend Jose Andres. Donald Trump put out a statement that said his office was in the process of identifying and removing presidential appointments from the previous administration who are not aligned with their vision to make America great again. And one of them was Jose Andres, who was on the President's Council of Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. And somebody else pointed out that they got rid of them because they were employing terrorists in Gaza. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I just find it interesting. Again, anything Meghan and Harry touch goes to crap. There goes Jose Andres. Well, at least he's still affiliated with William and Earthshot Prize. Oh my God. Okay, you guys, I want your comments. Put them down, make them good. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box. You'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Amazon wish list, and a physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.